Former President Thabo Mbeki,
former President F.W. de Klerk, Africa, Mrs. Gracia Marcel, Mama Winnie Mandela, the Mandela family, the leadership of the ruling party, the African National.
He's not using any facial expression.
So here, let's stop here for a second. So you're saying the face itself is too stoic.
Exactly.
Because what are you supposed to do?
Well, any interpreter, any person who uses any sign language is going to use their face and body to convey the intent, the emotion.
That's part of the training. It's not just style. You're supposed to do it.
Absolutely, and that's the important aspect. We are trained.
Mm-hmm. And the hands, you said that you kept seeing like a rhythmic, here, I'll make it so it looks like a better John Madden-esque illustration. You're saying that you're seeing a pattern, but to you that could be more dance moves than it could be actual sign language.
But they look like gestures, and they're repetitive.
So this is him doing his thing. Now, we want to also show him, let's go to the next clip, because I want to show him, okay, so let's say not understanding South African vernacular and translating is relevant. This woman is also doing South African. And she's doing the same type of translation that he is. And if you watch, you know, I'm no trained translator, but it seems like they're doing very different things. What do you pick up here, John?
Very different. Again, interpretations will vary from interpreter to interpreter because of the lens they bring to the job and how they choose to represent the message. This woman is actually creating phrases. It looks like she's... This is not.
Right? Okay, so just to... Is this man a trained translator?
No, absolutely not.
And so he doesn't really know what he's doing. Schizophrenia. You're not a psychologist, I understand. But if that were the cause, when we looked at an earlier example of him translating, we noted the same types of traits. Have you ever heard of anybody having some type of breakdown that destroyed their ability to translate?
I have not. If the person knew sign language, one would assume that regardless of their mental state, they would actually still be able to create language for themselves. This is not sign language.
I mean, obviously, I don't mean to block here, but they seem to be doing very different things in frequency, in direction of their hands, and in mimicking what is being said by the actual... And the face is very active. Their expressions being done seems as though she is, you know, using oral references to language.
Yes,
as well.
Absolutely. She's mouthing some of the words, and she's using her face to indicate what she's expressing, the intention and the spirit of the speaker as well. This gentleman is not.
Now, what is the chance that you could get away with this in the United States, where you could do what he's doing and somebody wouldn't seem to know right away?
Unfortunately, you'd be surprised. We actually see in our field a large number of people who may take a few sign language classes, know a little bit of sign language, purport themselves to be a sign language interpreter, and actually go into the field and earn money portraying sign language interpreting without actually knowing what they're doing, being trained or being certified.
How?
That's a good question. At Sign Talk, all interpreters are vetted for their credentials. They are screened and personally interviewed. It's a good question. We do a lot of writing and talking about the rights of disabled people in the United States, but when we take that from paper into action every day in the field, there's a big disconnect.
So I guess really we're waiting for people. Obviously, I don't understand sign language, so I can't judge it. So you're waiting for people who are deaf to basically come forward and say, hey, that person was way off. And if you don't have that urgency and you don't have that setup where people are comfortable coming forward and there's a mechanism to complain, you may not know.
That's true, but better on the front end, include deaf people in the conversation about hiring interpreters. We often at the rights, how to give people access to language and information, but we don't include them when we take their rights from paper into real life everyday action.
So just to be clear, unless we learn something about the psychology of this, the illness of it, that changes our analysis, is this man a real translator?
In my opinion, no.
And it's not about the language barrier, because you have another example right here, and she is demonstrating things you would recognize as translating.
Absolutely. And also, as stated by Bruno Drucken, who is the national director of the Deaf Federation of South Africa, this person is not known to the South African deaf community. Had they included those people in the conversation when preparing such a memorial event, they would have known that.
Because as we keep saying, the real harm here isn't so much about him, it's about all the people who were hearing impaired that didn't get to appreciate what was said that day.
It's about a gentleman who stole the voice of one of the greatest activists of our time. He silenced his voice because he decided to do a fraudulent thing and cut off access to deaf people all over the world to the messages that were being delivered on this historic day.
Well said. John, thank you very much for joining us.
To what Americans are saying. And some very valid concerns are being raised.
Said of the rogue interpreter, there was 0% accuracy. He couldn't even get the basic right. He couldn't even say thank you. As of right now, nobody knows who the rogue interpreter is, which is crazy, but it goes without saying that this is very disgraceful and should never happen again.
This is what it looks like. I'm actually outraged by this, okay? We would never do anything like this at the Young Turks. And I've never been so mad in my life. And it's totally unacceptable. And but on the other hand, he did get to attend this amazing event. And he did throw up some interesting signs there. I don't know if any of them were gang signs or anything, but he kept doing this, like. And then he'd sit there for like a long time not saying anything. Just outrageous, don't you think? Yeah. All right, anyway, Anna, back to you.